Evening all, Louise here with another episode of Straighten Your Crown Tarot. Right, this reading is a little bit of a spin-off for a yes-no question I had yesterday on the members live. And I did do a reading about this person, but then we had a mishap with the cat. So one of the questions that came up was, Will Angela Rayner be Prime Minister? And we did it as a pendulum thing. And the Palendium, what's wrong with me today? The pendulum said no. So I want to have a look at it in a wider context, because I've not seen a lot of news over the last few days. I've got a few ideas for readings, so anybody wants to give me some ideas of readings, please let me know. Members will get first dibs on the ideas coming through. There's so much that we can talk about as far as tarot readings are concerned. But what I have heard is that Angela Rayner is now making moves to kick Keir Starmer off the top spot. Right. So the pendulum said she wouldn't be the next Prime Minister. So let's have a look and see if we can see any further information on that before I start. If you watch my videos and you enjoy my videos, please remember to like. If you fancy sharing it with other people, that helps the channel. If you are new to my channel, all revenue from this channel goes to charity. If you want to become a member, you can find the link in my bio. Memberships are 99p a month, and the membership money is the only money that I keep myself, and that money gets ploughed back into the channel. I don't keep it for myself personally. I keep it to make the channel help to make the channel a bit better over time. So another thing, these oracle cards that I've got are new, and they are a gift from Lavender Garden. Thank you very much. They are the Ancient Stones Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I like the box on these. It's a little bit, look at that, that's a bit fancy schmancy, isn't it? I do have one other oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. I don't have them to hand right now, but the cards are lovely. It's a really good card stock. And where's my box for this? And this tarot deck is the Forest of Enchantment Tarot by Linnea Weatherston, and I can't read that. Maria, oh God, my eyes. Maria Allwood. Nice little mini deck, which comes in handy when my hands don't work very well. I did some moving furniture last night, and I wished I hadn't after I did the live, and I've taken a fall and I've really hurt my shoulder, and it seems to be affecting my hands a little bit. So let's see how we get on. I might be all fingers and thumbs. So Angela Rayner, what am I doing first? I'm going to do the tarot first, or am I going to do the oracle? Definitely the oracle. So for people who don't know, when I put my hands over the cards, I'm actually channeling Reiki, and I'm feeling for the heat, and I gauge whichever one comes off the hottest is the ones that I take. So sometimes if 2 cards fall when I only want 1, often I'll put cards back in the deck, but if I'm feeling like I can just gauge out of 2 cards, I will feel for the hottest card. that would be the card that I would take, because it's the one giving off the most energy. So let's have an Ancient Stones Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. Angela Rayner. Is she going to be successful, if the media is to be believed, in knocking Keir Starmer off the top spot? We had several questions last night on the members live, and I will be going live again tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for members only, because I'm conscious that with me flipping this this phone holder from one view to another during that live, I think I missed a couple of questions. So if you're able to be around at 9 o'clock and you are a member, and you asked me a question for the pendulum and I missed it, you will have another opportunity, because we'll go again tomorrow and do a few more yes/no questions, and just see how it goes with the reading, see where we go with that. Please bear in mind, these cards are new. They've been all the good stuff's gone in, they've all been cleansed, and they've had good intentions put into them, but they've not been shuffled before, so they may need waking up. Wake up. I'll take that one. And we have obstacle. Obstacle. I don't think they're numbered. It says find another road, flexibility and change. Obstacle. Might take me a while to find the actual card. Looks like it's fire. Might take me a while. Obstacle, page 106. Page 106. Oh God, the writing's not very bright. I will have to bring my glasses up. I keep meaning to do it and then I forget. Obstacle. There's nothing subtle about stone. If a large one appears upon your path, it can block your way forward. You can try all you like, but attempting to move something that will not budge is probably a waste of your energy. You're better off admitting defeat. When obstacles appear on our path, it's easy to feel frustrated and stubbornly try to push on through. However, sometimes obstacles occur in order to show us another way. This alternative route may feel like a detour, but if you're able to zoom out of your life and gain a greater perspective, you may find that what you thought was an obstacle was actually a blessing all along. The obstacle card is an invitation to pay attention to where there's ease and where you're trying to stubbornly cling, push and force. If you trust the seasons of your life and let life move you, you will not only find more flow and ease along your journey, but more joy and fun too. So I'm taking it. See, if we look at this card, you've got this person walking along this, I want to say yellow brick road, but it isn't. You know, there's someone going off to the Emerald City to fulfill the dreams and wishes. This is how I'm seeing this card. And this person's along the path, and there's this huge boulder in the way. If this is Angela Rayner, I think this big boulder that's in her way is a stubborn boulder, and I think that's possibly the civil service, I would say, because the civil service is much bigger than Keir Starmer. It's much bigger than the cabinet. They guide the cabinet. They're the ones who are the driving force. And I think they know that Angela Rayner, I just don't think she's bright enough. Personally, I don't think she's bright enough. I think she's going to have her path blocked. And I think that's for good reason. I think she would do a worse job than Keir Starmer, and that's there's a lot to say about that, because he's done a terrible job himself. But I think she would find herself coming up against roadblocks anyway. So maybe the pendulum was right all along. Maybe she's never going to be Prime Minister. But will she be instrumental? Will she remove Starmer from his position? She might not be Prime Minister, but will she be instrumental in removing Keir Starmer? I've said it all along. I don't think Keir Starmer is going to stay the entire 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. I thought he'd be gone by Christmas. And since Christmas, if you look at what's happened since Christmas, he's not covering himself in glory at all. I'm not sure he's going to stay around for much longer, actually. I think, as I was saying to members yesterday, I think there might well be some... we'll know when we'll know when the powers that be believe Starmer's time's up. And I think that will be when scandal starts to hit the headlines. The stuff that we know he's been hiding all along, the unusual family situation, shall we say. I think that kind of thing will start coming out. When you start hearing things like that, I think that's the signal to Starmer not being, having long left. But until then, he's clinging on. He's hanging on. He's tone deaf. So we've got the magician. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Page of Brooms. Oh, I think this is water. The Three of Water. The Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, the spells are water, brooms are wands. So it's the Three of Cups and the Page of Wands in reverse. And we have the Two of Swords. So this magician, number one, it feels very much like, if you look at this magician card, this magician's trying to magic up some sort of spell here. He's trying to affect some sort of abracadabra, and something will appear type thing. I don't think this is Starmer though. I think this is Angela Rayner. She's trying to magic up something to wow her followers. I know followers isn't the right word. Supporters. She's trying to magic something up. She's trying to conjure up some sort of trick here. But I don't know if you can see this. I'll put it closer to the camera. In the background, this magician has an owl. And owls are always said to be very, very wise. She's got a wise old owl looking over her shoulder. So I think while she's conjuring up some magic trick to, this feels like sensationalist headlines. She's being watched. Somebody very older than her, far wiser than her, is keeping quiet but keeping an eye out. This is somebody this is not their first rodeo. I think this might be a long time civil servant who's seen every trick in the book. because this feels like a trickster type energy. And then we've got the Three of Cups. And interestingly, it's called spells. Cups are called spells. She's got these 3 candles with all this magic fairy dust round it. And she's dressed like a fairy godmother with the hood up and everything. It's almost Harry Potter-esque in a way. And so this is how I'm viewing this card today. There's these little fairies dancing about above the water as well. It feels like I actually feel like this with this Magician card. I actually feel like there's this something being made up. There's some concoction. It could even be concocting a story. It feels like there's a story being concocted now. Whether this has got something to do with the alleged 3 fire starters, 3 people that started fires in property linked to Keir Starmer, whether this is more of an elaboration type thing. It feels very much like magical thinking, making up a story. And I think she's very integral to the makeup of this story. But she is being watched. That she's got wise onlookers. And then if we look at the page of wands, I'm not seeing this as a traditional page. It's in reverse, by the way, don't forget. This is Hansel to me, of Hansel and Gretel with the gingerbread house. Hansel and Gretel were tricked. They followed, they went into the woods and they were tricked by the witch, weren't they? And then the witch put them into the oven and all that kind of thing. But it's in reverse. So nobody's being fooled by this concoction of this story. She seems to be very much embroiled in this deception. There's a deception here. But this owl, this wise onlooker, is well aware of what's going off and will not be deceived. But they're letting her believe that she's able to get away with it, but she's not going to get away with it. Because they're not going to, people aren't going to take the bait. This is what I'm getting at. People aren't going to take this bait. There is some bait, and it might be about the fires, and it might be about the alleged fallout between Angela Rayner and Rachel Reeves over taxes. It could be the rumours within the media that Angela Rayner's got some takeover bid. This feels like a false flag. And then you've got the Two of Challengers. Now, 2s are always about choice. Well, partnerships and choice, but decisions. And this Two of Swords is a very different Two of Swords than any other Two of Swords I've ever seen. And this is, all I'm hearing is, it's the pot calling the kettle black. I think what you'll find is there's going to be some backwards and forwards in. There's going to be a lot of he said, she said. And it's that take a long, hard look in the mirror, if you like. I think there's going to be a lot of infighting. Feels like there's going to be a lot of infighting within the Labour Party. So let's get another row and see what what we get with. So this all feels like the now type situation where there's some shenanigans going on. There is some trying to subvert the status quo, but it's all the people in the background, the people that actually conduct politics, not the faces you see, the ones behind the faces. They know what's happening. No one's being fooled. But it does feel like a lot of tit for tat going on. There's going to be pot calling the kettle black stuff going on. It's going to be feels childish to me. Feels very childish. So we have the 8 of brooms. That's the 8 of wands. Is it the 8 of brooms? Oh, the 8 of boons. That's the 8 of pentacles. We have the Council of Animals, 20. That's judgment. And we have, which one first? That one, which is the Ace of Spells. The Ace of Spells is the Ace of Cups. I'm putting that one back. So, with these, we've got some deception going off here. Conjuring up a story. This 8 of boons or 8 of pentacles. This story is going to be very carefully crafted. Someone's going to take a lot of time to craft this story that's about to come out. Unless, it might have already come out today. I don't know. I've not really watched anything, not heard anything. I did try and look on X at one point, but apparently it was down. So I've been busy. I don't know. But it feels like this 8 of pentacles, the 8 of boons, is often someone who's working really, really hard for their money. This one feels like crafting. This woman is making up spindles for weaving, carefully winding all these spindles. So someone's really, this feels like a wind up. So this story is like, it's a deception. This story is a wind up. But there's been a lot of time spent on this and a lot of energy spent on this to put this, it's a wind up, taking the piss. And then with the 3 of spells and the Child of brooms, so the 3 of cups and the Page of wands in reverse, we've got this judgment card. Because they're conjuring up this story, it might even be rumours. It feels very much like a deflection tactic. It's a huge deflection tactic. It feels like something else is going off in the background that no one's going to be aware of, because it's just going to go off. Something's going to happen quietly in the background while everybody's back's being turned about this gossip that's being made up and carefully crafted. There's something significant going off in the background. But there are people with this judgment card. There are people who will judge this. There are people who will notice this. And there'll be people from all walks of life, not necessarily in the media, But there'll be people from all different walks of life that are going to notice this. And they're going to be people from different countries that are going to notice this before we get the information. But it will come out. But it feels like by the time, whatever it is they are covering up with this deceptive story, it feels very much like by the time we find out about it, it's already almost unstoppable, but it's not unstoppable. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you've got nobody being fooled. This tit for tat, all this childish sort of behaviour, it's come to a point where there's no choice but to tell the truth with the Ace of Swords. Ace of Cups. Ace of Spells. And now this Ace of Spells is out there. It almost feels like all this headline gossip, all this scandal that's about to break, that's actually a load of rubbish, because it's a cover story in order to deflect attention. It's almost as if this popcorn in the kettle black thing is also a deception. So when they're saying Angela Rayner hates Rachel Reeves and Angela Rayner's trying to get Keir Starmer off the top spot, it's not true. It's not true. But this story is going to go on for some time. It's not true because his Ace of Cups is here. This is very deceptive. It's very bad form. But this is the central card. Judgment. It's the central card. It's the centre of everything. This story that's being woven right now is to avoid judgment. But many people have seen through it because of this page in reverse. There are many people who haven't seen it. This judgment is very central to the whole thing. It's to avoid judgment. And we have this one. Seven of Visions. Right. Visions is cups. Spells is wands. Boons is pentacles. Right. It's still the same. This Child of Boons in the reverse. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, no one's being fooled here. This is Pages of Messengers. This is I'm still seeing this as Hansel and Gretel not being tricked into going into the gingerbread house. Still seeing it exactly the same way. The Eight of Pentacles, someone working very, very hard. This Council of Judges here with the Council of Animals. This Ace of Spells is an Ace of Wands. It's still exactly the same reading. I'm still reading this exactly the same way. Although it's not cups, it's wands. This is a spark. So They are hiding something. They've conjured up this cover story, this story, in order to mask something. They're deflecting attention. There's all this tit for tat. There's all this pot calling the kettle black, all that. And anybody who wants to get arsy about me saying that, this is not a race thing. It's an old-fashioned English saying when they used to put the pot and the kettle on a fire and it used to go black with the soot. Before anybody starts being arsy about it. So this Ace of Wands is this is creating something new. It's almost like this story about Angela Rayner and Rachel Reeves and Angela trying to knock Keir Starmer off the top spot. It's exactly the same as how I said it. It's a deflection tactic because something's going on in the background. But there's a wise old owl here, and this Hansel character is not being fooled. And there are people around who will see it and judge it for what it is. And then they start again with a new one. Something new is coming into the mix. It could even be a new leader. But I'm not seeing this as Angela Rayner. Could be somebody brand new. But it's someone. I think it's another story though. I think that story doesn't work. So it quietens down a little bit. They fight between each other amongst themselves, and then a new story comes to life. And then we've got this 7 of Visions with the 8 of Pentacles and the Judgment card. We've got this spinning a yarn, spinning several yarns, being judged, and then not know what to do next. This is confusion. The whole point of this bubbling stories of people infighting in the Labour Party is to confuse people so they don't know what's happening, so they don't see what's really happening. Something's about to give. Something big is about to happen, and it's gonna come in quietly under the radar until it's in your face. And this is what this feels like. All of a sudden something's in your face, which then confuses people because people didn't see it coming. Wow. That one. We have the Queen of Swords in reverse. We have that one. We have the King of Swords. And then we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Was that in reverse? No, it wasn't in reverse. Right, so we've got this story is confusing the hell out of people. And then we get the Queen of Swords in reverse. Now, the Queen of Swords is a very fair-minded person. She likes justice. She likes fairness. But when she's in reverse, she's a force to be reckoned with. She is, right, it does feel like unrest. This feels like unrest. The people will be confused because something's going to hit them like a ton of bricks. There's going to be a lot of confusion, created by this government, Angela Rayner. They're making stories up about themselves to make themselves relevant. And in the meantime, they're deflecting everybody's attention so that they can do whatever it is they want to do without any opposition. Then that, whatever it is they're doing, is going to be recognised, and it's going to cause a spark. It feels like unrest, confusion. People aren't going to know what hit them. And then this Queen of Swords is the person who is the instigator of this spark. Something's coming. I think we're going to have some civil unrest here, and it's because it's been created. This tension it's been built up over time, but something's coming in the background while everybody's attention is deflected. This is weird. And then we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a strategic person, often a general, a leader in the forces, the military. He can be a lawyer. He can be a high up lawyer. So who is this lawyer? Is this King of Swords going to triumph? Oh yeah, we've got this one, haven't we? This Seeker of Spells. So we've got this King of Swords, this military person, being all strategic. Notice the line, the magician, the old man with a beard, right down to here. The whole thing's been orchestrated by this man, this person. Often an Aquarius person is usually, well, not often, but the King of Swords is an Aquarius, represented. Aquarius is represented by the King of Swords. It can be Aquarian traits. Aquarian traits are things like, well, if we're looking at the most obvious, it would be somebody who could be aloof. This could be a personality aspect of Keir Starmer, perhaps. And then we've got this Seeker of Spells, and the Seeker is the Knight, and the Knight of Wands, Wands is always a player to me. Someone who plays games, someone who plays fast and loose with people's emotions, someone who maybe is a little bit aloof and enjoys watching people being confused and cruel. So this person is cruel, aloof, playing games. But I'm also seeing this as Angela Rayner playing with fire. She's playing with fire. So what's the outcome then with Angela Rayner? 7 of Challenges. The 7 of Challenges is the 7 of Swords. This is the thief in the night. It's very, very sneaky energy. This whole thing is sneaky energy. I would say over the next few weeks, don't pay too much attention to all the Labour scandals and the Labour shenanigans and who's falling out with who in the front bench, because this whole thing has been orchestrated in order to steal something from the British public, from under your nose, while our backs are turned, having our attention deflected, and then all of a sudden there's a realization. It gets very, very confusing, and then we realise whoever's done this is a very cruel individual, very aloof, been playing with fire, and has stolen something from the United Kingdom. I think we're going to have some unrest. Are we going to have some unrest in the United Kingdom? We've got the Sun and we've got the Ace of Pentacles. Eventually, it will all become clear eventually. And whatever's happening, whatever is being stolen from the British people, it has got something to do with money, economics. New money coming in from somewhere. But we will find out. It will become clear. I think this reading might well seem very, very cryptic to some. I can't do anything about that. It does feel like someone is taking the piss. They are playing with the emotions and the minds of the citizens of the United Kingdom, and they're doing it for a laugh. And they are playing the media, who are happily clapping along like circus seals, and the media are going to happily report what the government want them to report, because the idea is to distract us. Now, I don't know whether we're going to have whether this is unrest or whether there is another planned pandemic around the corner. It could have something to do with farm animals, but I'm feeling very much that many people will see through it. Many people won't, because they'd rather be distracted. So I'd keep away from mainstream media at the moment. I would take everything you see and hear with a massive pinch of salt, and whatever you do, do not react. Because I think that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for a reaction. Do not react in any way, shape or form. Well, that went somewhere I never thought it would. Anyway, I'm going. It's going to be pretty late when this one goes out. So for all you members, I'll see you 9 o'clock in the morning. Take care. Ta-ra.